well over $100 for just going out 4 times. And I know there's some new slips there that are really, up to date, and then the ones that are currently there, that's been there for years, are, they need a little bit of replacing eventually, but.
Oh, the jet ski, they're all new.
Yeah, the jet ski rooms are all new.
Just the last 5.
Well, they're all,
They were
there's
purchased at
no,
the same time.
yeah,
I
pretty
think there were a
There
few that
was-
had some faulty rollers, and we were able to utilize the warranty with the manufacturer. So that might be the distinction between some that look older and some that look newer. But they were all purchased at the same tranche.
I think we had like 15 maybe at first, and another 5 or something like that. So,
Yeah.
but the fact that they're filled and both the jet skis and the kayaks have a waiting list, I think, opens up the opportunity to raise the fees a little bit.
Okay, thank you, Bob. You did a good job, just being called up in the back of the group.
Well, the other thing, I guess, on the boat slips too, we're analyzing how we compare to some of the other marinas. And we have a series for the smaller boats, the wooden docks, which are closest to the pier and the Marina Grill. And I certainly wouldn't want to raise those rates. And if anything, I had suggested maybe we lower those rates because they're pretty simplistic. They're wooden docks. There's no water, no electric. They're what they call frog hooks for making contact with the dock and to get on and off the boat. So, and looking at those rates, there are places that are for simple docks without a lot of amenities that could be cheaper. And we have, I guess we only rented about half of those or so, 60 or 70% of those. So maybe in that case, we'd want to attract more smaller boats. And but maybe we just wait and see what happens there. And then we have some leases that are, some people leave their boats year-round, annual leases. And analyzing some of the annual leases versus a seasonal lease, it seems like they're getting a very bargain for leaving their boats for those 4 months through the winter time. Now, people aren't using their boats, but they're storing them there. It's like a very inexpensive way to store your boat. So I thought that was something I brought up when we talked about possibly looking at the seasonal leases.
Okay.
And maybe there's something there that we want to kind of determine if there's a need, if there's an opportunity to raise the rates a little bit there. But we haven't really finished the discussion on the rates.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Also on the workshop, Chris Brandel, you want to come up and try to fill in the council why you're here?
Okay, I just wanted to put my old truck in the plaza next to the restaurant there, so people could take pictures, vintage old truck, tailgate, that's all, little community love. So I got a insurance rider from my insurance company with Belmar on it. Do you want this looked at?
Colleen
I gotta ask you, does the truck leak?
No.
Oil, anything like that?
No.
It's clean?
Yeah,
Clean.
clean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, when I first heard it yesterday, it sounded very simple. I started thinking about it, and I realized, well, the town decorates the plaza.
Yeah.
Christmas tree, lights all around. And then, like, your truck would actually be on public property.
Yeah.
What would prevent another resident from just coming and decorating their truck or their car and putting it on the plaza also? Or if they live across the street from a park, decorating their truck or car and driving it up to the gazebo or in front of the tennis courts, or mooring some type of a boat in the lake, or putting a lifeguard stand on the boardwalk, which is public property. And who's to say what holiday they could do this for? They could You know, if it's on public land, and if we let you do it on public land, how can we say no to them for a Halloween decoration, or a Easter decoration, or someone's birthday that they want to do? I think that's the problem we get in. We have an ordinance right now that you can't park a vehicle on borough property, which our parks are.
Yeah, I was
And
looking at probably
who's to
a
say,
permit,
What's
a
that?
parking permit for the month to just have it there, just for anybody to take pictures, sit in it and just take pictures.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do, just more or less for me, honestly, it was like to have like Steve Lacko, to be able to, it's a prop, it's an ornament, it's a decoration. Go and take pictures.
okay, granted, it
That's it.
seems harmless, what would
That's
prevent,
all it was. If it's
what would
not,
prevent someone from doing the same thing and driving their vehicle to the gazebo and using it as a prop for picture taking?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where the potential for working out very well is good, but the potential for abuse is there too. We don't know what some people would want to use as a prop on public property. I mean, you have a problem right now with the creche and the menorah. Some people object to a religious ornament. I can just imagine what some residents could come up with and say, hey, you do it at the plaza, why not at Silver Lake, why not at McCleary Park for a photo op? So, council people, how do you feel about this?
I like the idea. I mean, I think it's little change for the plaza. You got the tree there, and I saw a picture of it before it was removed yesterday, and I just thought it was kind of interesting, and I don't know.
How would you feel about someone,
And I need a
Parking the car
Christmas
at the-
picture of my kid, so
how do you feel about someone parking a car at the gazebo or
I
at the
don't think
lake?
anybody would just do that. They would have to come forward or get a rider or whatever. Obviously, the
Could we
mayor
say
and
no to
council
them?
have, sure, I mean, it's at the discretion of the mayor and council, but
How can we say no to them if we say yes to here? I think we need more discussion. I think there's got to be rules written down.
Could I get a little
Yeah,
information, would it be okay?
Can Greg
Sure.
jump in here?
You're only the attorney, right?
Yeah, just so I'll have to answer a lot of questions later. So this is certificate of liability insurance you handed out, but is the vehicle itself registered, insured,
Yes.
operational?
Yeah.
Okay, and where do you want to park it?
Right, catty corner right up against my awning there.
So up on
Actually,
the
I
sidewalk?
had tables.
It's not like in a parking space on the lot?
On the pavers. I had tables.
But it's not a marked parking space?
No,
No.
it's not parking.
Okay, so we're talking, okay. And you're in Belmar Plaza, which means it's the public right of way? Is
Yeah,
what we're
it's
talking
public.
about. Okay, because you don't have, the storefront goes right up to the right of way, if I recall, correct? If
I believe you're correct.
Okay. Does it have any, what does it have on the vehicle? Does it have any markings that's like, or advertising for your business?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, there's magnetic signs, I can take them off, that's not a problem. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I
so the
had
problem with it
garland,
is-
all that's on there is garland and a wreath and a sled, some pillows in the back. That's it.
The problem is not necessarily a symbolic, or, the issue is that, the mayor's concern, is apt in that if you allow one business to do that, then you have to let everybody do it. Or we have to bid the spot like we do for other concessions at the boardwalk area or things like that. Can't just allow one person to go up. Who is your landlord?
John Junko.
And, he owns the plaza?
No,
It's the building adjacent, abutting the plaza.
Okay,
Correct.
so his property line ends at the
Yeah.
public right of way or the space, okay, in the storefront. That's a conundrum, okay. I mean, if it's validly registered, insured, and licensed, it's a valid
Yeah,
vehicle,
yeah.
you're allowed to park it anywhere that's a valid parking space according to the
Yeah.
parking regulations, obviously. Parking it on the right of way is an issue because then, say the gazebo, or, I mean, you could put advertising on the boardwalk for any business, anyone who's in our pavilions, things like that. It opens up a door, and it brings up questions of local public contracts law as to whether you can allow one business to do without bidding it to everybody. That's the real issue with it. But we could talk more about it and try to figure out a way, the car in the spaces is no problem. People do that all the time.
Right.
There's towns everywhere, every tanning salon you see has a graphically wrapped truck that's parked in the parking lot in front of it because the town has some sign ordinance that you're not allowed to have a moving sign or a large sign on the highway or what have you. So that's not a problem. Perhaps that's the way we could get around it with maybe an accommodation of some kind. Or we'd have to look at the parking ordinance. There's a permit fee or some accommodation we could accomplish in that way. Putting on the right of way opens up a whole can of worms. It probably doesn't even fit your holiday season schedule at this point, 3 weeks away. So.
I think we have our captain of police who
Okay.
has researched or.
Well, no, actually, I did have a conversation with the chief, and we would oppose this vehicle in that area due to security purposes, especially for the event coming up and throughout the holiday season. We would not have liked that vehicle in the plaza, due to pedestrians, due to the tree being there, and just the amount of people in the area as a vehicle in a event area, just for security purposes. That's our feeling on it. We do not want it there, or any vehicle in that area, to speak, for security. The way
Greg,
things
can I
are
ask you a
today.
question? We have the car show, which is the antique cars which park all over the plaza. That has to go before the special events committee. Now, I know this is only one vehicle, and that's why I didn't answer Mr. Brandel, because I was in discussions with the police department and DPW about it, to give him some type of an answer. But in my mind, whether it's one car or you have 50 cars in a car show, I think it really has to go into the special events, because, it's using that space.
Well, the trigger for the special events is a disruption of the ordinary traffic flow,
Mhm.
or safety, something. So, I mean, the police department's concerns, perhaps that's a procedural way.
I
If you
figured
put it on the
next
right
year,
of way, the public right of way, it opens up a whole other can of worms with respect to what other businesses are allowed to put stuff where on our property, opens up challenges in local public contracts law by other businesses. The mayor's concerns in that regard are spot on.
So how does the car show?
But in a parking space where cars ordinarily belong is a totally different animal like the event. Maybe the special events permit, we could find a way, procedural way, or through the special events permit, to pay fees and obviously structure. But
Because they are allowed in the car show, which,
right, because they're all in
Yeah,
parking
it's great,
spaces, and you're
it's-
just telling the police, hey, we're gonna have a car show here, and there's gonna be added,
Traffic control.
traffic patrols, we need some help, that sort
Just
of.
drive it around town, just park in different spots, that's all.
Yeah, I mean.
That's all. I mean, I was just looking to do something fun.
Yeah, no, it's just.
I wasn't looking to
at
have a big
property.
ordeal out of this at all, honestly. That's it. I mean, I'll pull it. I mean, I'm over it.
It's a
It's a
nice
shame.
idea.
It's sad. It's sad to me.
Yeah,
It's
a
It's
really
really
good
sad to me,
idea.
because I was just looking to provide something fun,
I know.
something different. I swear. Has nothing to do with nothing.
Absolutely.
The lawyers always
You see our
penalize what you guys
situation.
are doing. I mean, you can look at our agenda tonight, we have a resolution on litigation where accommodations were made for a particular business owner, and then later on it came back to be an issue. So that's the unfortunate caution that the borough has to engage in, although obviously you're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So we can talk about special events permit and try to figure something out in that regard.
That's a
We're
possibility.
19 or something.
It's a way to address it, but.
I think it's a procedural way to regulate it, I mean, put some controls in this. The mayor's, I mean, look, we have a litigation on tonight that we settled for reasons that are substantially similar
Mhm.
to this, right? No good
Yeah.
deed goes unpunished.
Right.
So, maybe we can figure out a way around it. and talk
We
about
could,
it.
and for whatever it's worth, and I know it's not ideal what you're looking for. I saw it today parked right at the base of the plaza. It looked lovely. It does look nice, and, I think
It's
if
cute
there's a
truck.
way to
It's
figure
cute.
it out in the future, there could be a way.
Okay.
I did send an email. I guess I might have different emails. Sent an email out on the
Yeah.
20th of
I
November.
didn't get it. You might have misspelled
And you
my
got
name.
it?
I responded to you.
Yeah, it was a group email for everybody. I guess it didn't make it.
I responded to you
All right.
and council.
So
Nice.
what's your email?
Brandel@brandelrestaurant.com, no E in Brandel. Brandel,
BRANDL?
BRANDEL@brandelrestaurant.com.
Okay, I just sent you an email with my contact information. so-
Okay, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Petitions, anybody out in the audience with a petition? If you have one, no one's coming up, so we'll move on to approval of minutes. Councilwoman Nicolay?
Where's the thing?
Uh-oh.
I hereby
Close.
move to approve the minutes of the meeting from
November 20th.
November 20th, 2018. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
That was excellent.
Aye.
Anyone
Aye.
opposed?
Okay, reports of the council. Jim, you have any reports you'd like to make?
Had an opportunity to attend the menorah lighting last evening. It was a very nice event, well attended, and it was a pleasure to be there.
Thank you. Mark?
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is, I guess I should have brought it up under our workshop, but there is down the marina, we also discussed at the Harbor Commission meeting that there's like 6 or 8 spots that are straight in, and we wanted to extend them to the boat owners. Those last 6 spots that are straight in, right by the fuel pump, the Harbor Commission is asking if they can be designated for boat owners. So, and I'm not sure how the council feels about adding a few more spots, but if you look at down the marina, you know, we have all those spaces right along the walkway for boat owners, and we added those 8.
Where are you talking about, like right when you come in the driveway?
Right when you come in the driveway, there's like 8 spots that are directly straight in, right by
Yeah.
the fuel pump. And they were asking if we could designate those 8 spots to boat owners.
Is any of that like handicap parking or anything like that right now?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I'm all for increasing the parking.
Yeah.
For the
problem
boat
there.
owners, absolutely.
So if we could put that on for the next meeting, we'll add that to the ordinance. I think it's, I'll count the spots, but I think it's 8 of them.
Now, this past year, we did designate the trailer parking lot for parking for slip owners after a certain time of day. I think we should get that into the ordinance and keep it from, no one from a restaurant can park in there. Just that the trailer parking lot would be strictly for slip owners, kayak, and jet ski, and not for people going to the restaurant, and not for employees of the restaurant.
So that would be certain times at night? we would put
Yeah, the trailers generally early in the morning, and they're usually coming out around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And, you know, I think a lot of the slip owners, when they come down in the evening at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, the restaurants are already open, and some of the varsity parking spaces are taken up. But the trailer parking lot is really not far from where the boat slips are, so I think that would work out. So